Hey, hello, welcome to Algebra 1. Here we continue the third learning target, which is about solving equations. Today, as you can read, we're going to start tackling equations where variables, the x's, the y's, the n's, what have you, are on each side of the equal sign at the same time. We've got a list of steps here on what you can do to help yourself out. Begin by simplifying each side of the equation, then moving the variable term off of one side of the equation. You will see in our examples that I always move the variable term off of the right side so that it stays on the left side. There is no particularly special reason why I do that. I just want to keep it as consistent as possible. Then move the non-variable term off of the other side of the equation. Since I move the variable term off the right side, I move the non-variable term off of the left side. However, that isn't particularly important. What's important is that you do it off of, well, whatever side already has the variable term. And finally, finish solving using multiplication or division. You'll see that as the final last step. This final step should be boring. The good kind of boring, where you know exactly what you're doing and you just can't make your hand write fast enough. Okay, so here's an example. As you can see at the beginning, the first step I said was simplify each side. However, one side is 8x plus 10, the other side is 6x minus 4. Not much to do. So the next step was to move the variable term off of one side. I moved the variable off of the right side. That was done. The next step is move the constant off of the other side. I personally choose to move the constants off of the left side. Done. And then finally, multiply or divide to finish solving. But again, that should not be too exciting for you. You should think in your head, oh, it's 2x. I'm going to divide by 2. You got an answer. You got a happy face. Life proceeds with pleasantries. Okay? I have another example for you to look at. Now, the first step was to simplify each side, and so we would go ahead and want to use the distributive property on the left with the 6 and on the right with the negative 2 to simplify each side. That's our first step. Then we would want to go ahead and move the variables off of the right side. It does not matter that it's the right side. Instead of adding 2x, you could have chosen to subtract 6x. I like to do it always the same to look consistent as you're looking at the notes, but whatever. Then move the constant off of the other side. I personally always show moving the constant off of the left. Boom. And then finally multiply or divide at the end. Okay. Now, how about for some examples that aren't done for you yet on the paper? Here we go. First order of business. We have to solve 13 plus 5x equals 2x minus 8. If you look at that, each side is already simplified, so we can just go ahead and move the 2x off of the right side. Goodbye 2x. So 13 plus 3x equals, pay attention here, negative 8. That's right. Next step, move that 13, the constant, off of the left side by subtracting 13 because it was a positive 13. Goodbye 13s. 3x equals negative 21. And then finally, divide by 3. So x equals negative 7. That's it. All right. Now, next example. Here, there's some simplifying that can happen first. So we'll need to distribute the 1/5 into each term in the parentheses. If we rewrite the equation now, that makes 4x minus 5 equals 1x plus 4. Sometimes students ask, do I really need to write the 1 on that 1x? And the answer is absolutely not if you know in your head that that's a 1x. So, as a final answer, you would even want to not write the 1. But again, I'm writing it here just to be as crystal clear as possible. Next up, moving the variable off of one side. As always, I am taking the variable off of the right side. Goodbye, 1x. So 4x minus 1x is 3x, minus 5 equals 4. Now move the constant off of the other side. So now we're moving it off of the left. Bye-bye 5s. 3x equals 9. And the part that should be very, very boring by now, since it's 3x, we're dividing each side by 3, x equals 3. Done. Okay, next order of business, this example here. As you can see, we have some distributing to begin with. Good times. So, 8x minus 20 equals 3x plus 10. Next order of business, move the variables off of a side. So, goodbye 3x's. 5x minus 20 equals 10. Next bit, move the constant off of the other side. Since I moved the variables away from the right side, I'm moving the constant away from the left side of the equal sign by adding 20. So goodbye 20s. 5x equals 30. And then finally divide by 5 on each side. So x equals 6. Yeah. Okay. So that's our third example. We got one more for you today. Whoa, there's a lot of parentheses here. So, first order of business, we've got to distribute that 3. But also, we've got to distribute that negative 7. Okay, so, when you distribute the 3, it's 6x minus 3. Distributing the negative 7 makes negative 7x minus 21 plus 7. Now, this one's a little more interesting because we still have like terms to add together on the right side. So negative 21 plus 7 is negative 14. So 6x minus 3 equals negative 7x minus 14. Go ahead and add 7x to each side. Bye-bye 7x's. So 13x minus 3 equals negative 14. Then add the 3 on each side to move the constants away from the left side of the equal sign. 13x equals negative 11. Finally, divide each side by 13. X equals negative 11 13ths. All right. Nothing here should be terribly surprising. The only thing that's actually new is that we can add or subtract a whole term, which means a whole little math chunk that has the variable in it. But the rules on how to do that are the same as with the numbers. And that's the end of our examples. Please let me know if you have any questions, and thank you for watching.